I knew that Ethiopia is the origin of coffee, and what kind of coffee are produced in Ethiopia?
Ethiopian coffee is one of the best quality coffee in the world. That is called Yirgachefe coffee. Yirgachefe is one of the top quality coffee, and the Arabica C coffee, if you know those kind of brand coffees. But Ethiopia is one of the best quality coffee producer in the world. But the production is not of that much quantity, but it's like tens at coffee exporter in the world. The first coffee exporter is Brazil, as you know. Ethiopia is the 10th, but it's still the origin of coffee. Yeah.
Can you recommend any famous place to travel in Ethiopia?
As I was telling you, there are different ethnic groups, and they do have different culture. There are different things at each place. But if you are interested in historical places, maybe the northern part of the country, which was the center of the country for many generations, owns the most historic places. Yeah.
I also have a question for you.
Okay.
You said that Ethiopia was never colonized, and is there any special reason for that?
Patriotism, that love of a country. Every other countries in Africa or in any other place, they celebrate Independence Day, right? Independence Day means after they got their freedom from the occupying country. But Ethiopia celebrates every year a day of victory. They won the colonial powers. The reason is like love for the country. They defend their country. That's it. Okay.
Thank you for your answering. And actually, when I heard of Ethiopia, I imagined the coffee.
Okay.
But after listening to your lecture, I could know about lots of things of Ethiopia. So, thank you for your lecture, and thank you for your answering again.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Hello, we're group 4.
Okay.
And I'm Tutor Maximilian. First of all, your lecture was really meaningful, and during our discussion, we have raised 3 questions to ask you.
For the first question, in Korea, we learn Korean and English at the same time. Why do Ethiopians learn native language and English in different times?
Yeah, as I was explaining in my lecture, from grade 1 to grade 8, we learn using local language, and at the same time we do have one subject English, but the other courses, the other subjects would be given in local language, like Amharic, the national language, but there will be one subject English language. But after high school and preparatory and the university level, it's mainly English only. Yeah.
I heard that Ethiopia culture is right, so I want to learn about the culture. And I think that one of the learning about culture is about food. So I want to ask you about question that what food do you want to recommend to us?
In every tradition, there are different kinds of foods. They are completely different. If you are from one region and if you are from another region, the food and the culture would be completely different. But the main dominant food throughout the entire country is called injera. And the stew, as I was discussing that, the stew might be different, but the cultural food that Ethiopian people invite if a ghost comes to their place is called doro wat, which is a chicken stew with injera. That would be my recommendation. Yeah.
Thank you. Why do you think the economy of Ethiopia is growing very fast?
Ethiopia has so many resources which was not exploited in the past. But during the current government, a lot of things are being done. The reason for that is Ethiopia is getting support and loans from different international organizations like the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank. Ethiopia is getting support. Like there are a bunch of huge projects going on in the country, like the construction of the biggest dam in Africa, which is the 10th in the world. It generates like around 6,000 megawatts. There are different huge projects, and there is also large railway construction in the country. There are different kinds of projects which are supported and funded by the different international organizations, and that's boosting the economy. That's why the economy is growing so fast in Africa. Yeah.
So again, we truly appreciate for your lecture, and I thought it was a really meaningful opportunity to learn about Ethiopia, and I hope to see you next week.
And thank you for inviting me to.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm your girl one, and
Yeah.
I'm Peter Hussein.
Okay.
First of all, I wanna thank you for your
It's
really interesting lecture, and we all are surprised because we found that there are so many similarities between Ethiopia and Korea than we think.
yeah.
And we have two questions.
What I felt about Ethiopia during your lecture. I think there's so many things that between Ethiopia and Korea. So I just like I did, I guess you had some experience that can spot similarities between two countries. So could you tell me?
Yeah, Ethiopia and Korea, even before coming here, I had the feeling of Korea. Like, as I was giving in my lecture, the Ethiopian soldiers fought in Korea during Korean War, and those veterans, when they went back to their home country, Ethiopia, they took watch from Korea for their wives. And Korean watches are famous there in Ethiopia, and there are also neighborhoods which are named after Korea. Like there are neighborhoods for Korean veterans, and they do have strong connection with Korea. And after coming here, it was like beyond my expectation. Korea is really beautiful country. I had a chance to travel all over Korea at different parts of the Korea, like Jeju. I've been in Jeju, Busan, Sokcho, at different parts of the country, and I found it really beautiful and beautiful. That's why I don't know. Originally, I came here just for 2 years, and I'm extending my stay here for extra few months or years, and I really love being in Korea. Thank you, guys. Okay.
Hi. You look nice. I think you look like black pants.
Sorry?
You look black pants.
Thank you so much.
You say there is no sea in the Ethiopia.
Sorry?
Sea.
See,
Ocean.
we don't have that. Like Ethiopia is a landlocked country, as you Koreans do have open access to sea, but we don't. We are surrounded by neighboring countries, but there are seas, not like the bigger oceans, but we do have landlocked oceans. We do have those things. Yeah.
So, is there any sea?
No. Actually, that is one of my terrible part. I'm poor at trying the Korean dish. I really like all Korean foods, but The seafood is my problem. In my country, we don't eat seafood, only fish. We only do fish only. And the other thing, we don't eat pork in our country. That was also, when I first arrived here, that was a bit of a problem, but later I started to take all those things, but now I'm good, yeah. The answer is we don't have seafood yet.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Hi, thank you for your lecture and answering our questions. Again.
Thank you for asking and to know more about Ethiopia and my culture. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I'm with Group 5. I'm tutor of Group 5 Voyaging. I will prepare 3 questions.
Okay.
What ethnic group are you in and what is its characteristic?
Sorry? That's okay.
What ethnic group are you in and what is its characteristic?
Yeah, as I was actually mentioning that, I am from 2 different ethnic groups. My father is from Gurage people, and their characteristic is they are so hardworking people. They are known for that thing, and their culture. The food of the Gurage people, it's really beautiful. There are dishes called kitfo, which is minced beef made with butter and many more spices. And those Gurage peoples are known for that thing. And my mom is from Amhara region, which is from northern part of the country. My father is from the southern part of the country, and the Amhara people are known for their national pride and their patriotic action in defending the country. Yeah.
If Ethiopian people drink coffee 3 times a day,
Yeah.
I think they can't sleep well because of the caffeine in coffee.
Yeah, maybe that's what you think, but it's normal culture there. Like we do in the morning, we do in the afternoon, and we do during dinner time. But we don't feel that much pain, like being awake from the coffee. Maybe we are getting used to it. It feels like normal, yeah. Yeah.
Even though there are many continents, you can learn history and why did you pick Korea?
Actually, there was an opportunity that I was learning masters in my country. I withdrew that one to come here. The reason why I came here, or why I chose the opportunity to be here, was my friend was here, and he introduced me to his professor, and the professor was okay with me, so I flew here, withdrawing the school that I was in my country. So it was based on the opportunity that I had at the time, and I felt really grateful and really nice being here. Yeah.
Today we could learn about Ethiopia and your culture, and thank you for answering our lecture.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, we are Group 3, and I am the tutor Hwang Song-woo. And thank you for your lecture. I just read Ethiopia in books before, but your lecture helped me to understand Ethiopia more than books.
Okay.
We wrote the impressive things about Ethiopia,
Okay.
and we have 4 questions, but other groups already
Ask the question?
So
Okay.
we want to ask or another question.
Okay.
My question is, I want to know, are there any celebrities who whose nationality is Ethiopian?
Sorry?
Are there any celebrities whose nationality is Ethiopian?
Celebrities?
Like famous people?
Famous people. Famous people. There are a bunch of famous people, like the modelist Lia Kabada, you might have heard, or Mark Samuelson. You know him. Mark Samuelson was chief chef who was campaigning with Barack Obama when Barack Obama was campaigning for his election. He's one of the top chefs in the world. There is one called Mulatu Astatke. He's a musician. He is known for his Afro jazz. He's the father of the Ethiopian jazz. He's known for his jazz music. And the others, the famous are the runners, long distance runners. Have you heard any? I think you might have heard about Abebe Bikila. Abebe. He's one of the first Olympic gold medalists from Africa. And when I travel all over Korea, people would be, when I tell them I'm from Ethiopia, the only thing that they ask me is about Abebe Bikila. They know it. Maybe younger generation might not know that, but the older people ask me about Abebe. And there are also other athletes like Haile Gebrselassie and Kenenisa Bekele. There are long distance runners and they are quite famous. Yeah.
Are there any reasons why Ethiopia entered the Korean War?
At the time, the Italian force, when back in days, I was mentioning that in my lecture too, when the European force or the Italy force occupied Ethiopia, the emperor at the time, the Haile Selassie, the King Haile Selassie, appealed to European Union, the United Nations. Ethiopia is the founding member of the United Nations, and Ethiopia appealed to the United Nations, like claiming that the Italian force occupied Ethiopia. At the time, Ethiopia didn't get a good answer from the United Nations. And when North Korea occupied South Korea, Ethiopians know the suffering when somebody took your land. When you are occupied by somebody outside of your people, they know the suffering. And Ethiopia helped Korea because Ethiopia is one of the founding member of the United Nations, and Ethiopia was helping with the soldiers for the United Nations force here in Korea. Yeah, that's it.
Does Ethiopia students also go to academy or somewhere to study after school like Korean students do?
What kind of academies? You mean the universities and colleges?
Somewhere that teaches math or English
Tutorial class, you mean, out of the normal education program? Yeah, we do have that thing. Actually, even in there are two different systems. Like there are private schools and there are government operated schools. In government schools, you only learn the regular hours. But in private schools, you will have to pay like extra fee to get extra tutor, and you will spend more long time there, and you will study there, yeah, with some tutors. Yeah.
Thank you for answering our question. And I want to go to Egypt, Ethiopia, and experience the things that you told me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you guys for inviting me. I don't know. Hello. Most people do have something in their mind which is not true about like Africa or specifically maybe about Ethiopia, and I'm really grateful for having a chance like to tell you what it feels like to be in Ethiopia and what the culture and what the other things are. And I'm happy that I just gave you a bit of my culture and introducing that to you. Thank you guys.